open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sound.
Hey guys, it's Ginger. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm doing a video that's been requested from quite a few of my subscribers. So thank you guys for watching my videos and requesting stuff to see. So I am going to do Luminary on my nails, and I just recently soaked off a set of Luminary, and then I just put some gel polish on for like a week or so, which is what you see over here, and it is pretty trashed. My nails get destroyed very easily by doing other people's nails. I bump them with files all the time, and yeah, so it happens. So I soaked off the gel polish on this hand, and if you want to see the soak off process of the Luminary, I'm either going to post that in a separate video or at the end of this video, depending on how long it is. I don't want the video to be too long, and you guys know how I like to talk, so but I am going to show you how to do it from start to finish on your natural nails as an overlay. So let's get started. Okay, so you're gonna need a few things. You're gonna need your Luminary, of course. I'm going to use today the color Growth, and this is what it looks like. So beautiful. And I am going to use their primer called Commit, and I will also use their top coat, which is called Empower. Okay, so you've got your Luminary, and this is a base gel and color all in one. So you're going to put your primer down, and then you're going to go straight into your gel. With some systems you need a base gel, which is clear. With this system you do not. So when you're using gel, guys, always follow the manufacturer's instructions on curing time, product usage, and it's not good to cross or mix products together. Like, for instance, I wouldn't put like Madam Glam base coat gel down and then put Luminary on top of it, because the inhibition layer may not be compatible with this gel. That's a whole nother video to go into, but it's always best to stick to the line that you're using and don't stray away from that. Now, once you get done applying this to your nails, you can file it and polish it with any color you want using Madam Glam, C&D, OPI, whatever gel or regular polish you would like to. That is totally fine. So if you want to know more about gel, its chemistry, how it works, there is an amazing channel called The Nail Hub. Liz runs that. She is phenomenal for education. She tells you in very easy to understand words like everything about everything. She goes into lights, UV, LED, what's the difference, how that works. I would definitely check her channel out if you're interested in learning about gel and all that. So I will link it in the description box. It's a very educational channel, and I highly recommend it. So I'm not gonna, like I said, get into all that right here, but just stick with the system. So, okay, you're also gonna need a gel brush to apply it with. Now, Luminary does, when you order it in a certain kit, you can get it. For instance, here is the color Love. It comes in a bottle and a pot, but you can also order just the big refills and just fill up your little pot. I prefer to use it out of the little pot versus the bottle. The brush in here is just a little bit too big, and I don't have as much control over how much product I have on the brush as I do a gel brush like this. So this is from Ugly Duckling. It's an amazing little gel brush. So I'm going to be using that. And then I always have a little detailer brush, a smaller one, and that really helps get the gel where you want it, like in the sides, and does that little tiny detail work. I find this is a game changer in getting your application pretty much flawless. But you don't have to worry about getting it flawless. If you do have it like right where you want it, you can just top coat it and be done, or you can remove the inhibition layer and file it to perfection. Sometimes I file it and sometimes I don't. It just depends on the day. Sometimes I'm having a better nail day than others. So usually on myself, I tend to have to file it because it's a little bit harder to do on myself. Plus, trying to film it is going to be a little difficult. So I am probably going to end up filing these. You're also going to want like a nail brush or some paper towels or something to dust your nails with. A nail file. This is my file that I use on myself only. A cuticle pusher of some sort. I use this to take off my gel polish, so I'm just going to use that to show you. And if you need it, some cuticle nippers. Mine aren't too bad. I've got a little stray right there, so we'll take care of that. And I'm going to show you how to do this with the drill and with just the hand file, both. So if you don't have a drill or you're not comfortable using a drill or an e-file, you can use a hand file. So, all right. First thing you want to do is get some isopropyl alcohol, which I'm going to get on my brush here, and I'm just going to clean my nails off. Make sure there's no oils or debris on them. If you have polish, remove that. Make sure your nails are naked and ready to go. So you want to push back your cuticles, which, like I said, I just took off some gel polish, so mine aren't going to need much, if any. So you just push back your cuticles on all your nails. And if you want to change the shape of them, go ahead and do that. I've got mine shaped up the way I would like them, but you can square them off. You can make them pointier, make them round, whatever you'd like to do. So do that. And then I'm going to show you. I've got this on a very low speed. This is a medium grit sanding band. And then what I would do is just pull back on the skin and go around that cuticle area and get all that dead cuticle off the nail plate, and then lightly go over your entire nail to buff it up and get rid of the shine. You see mine aren't very shiny because I've already done this when I removed my gel polish, but this is what you'll need to do. Make sure you hit the whole nail plate, but you're being very gentle, and really all you want to do is remove that natural shine from your nail. If you don't want to use an e-file, use your hand file. This is a 100/180. So this side is 180, this side is 100. I'm going to use the softer side, which is the 180. And then just the same thing, go around that cuticle area, nice and easy, and then go over the entire nail to remove the shine. Like so. And then if you have any little snags or hangnails or anything, I would go ahead and take care of that at this time, which I don't have many, just a little bit right there, all better. Okay, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my nails. And I know this video is probably gonna be a little long. I'm gonna try to explain everything to you step by step. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If I've left anything out, I'm gonna try to do my best to explain it very well so you guys know how the system works. If you're interested in getting it, it is a professional only system. All right, so I'm gonna take another pump of alcohol here. Make sure I'm brushing down, get all the dust out of the cuticle area and the sidewalls. And this is also going to dehydrate the nails further. We want no oils on our nails. So now they are prepped. Don't touch them because you're going to transfer oil from your finger to your nail. So don't wipe it off like that. Do any of that. That's going to cause lifting. We don't want lifting. So, okay, so they're dry, they're dehydrated, there's no oil on them, they're ready to go. We're going to go in with the Commit primer. Now I just want to explain what this is real quick. Some brands will have like a primer and a dehydrator. For instance, like the Apres has their dehydrator and their primer. The dehydrator is a lot like just your alcohol, your isopropyl alcohol. It's going to dehydrate the nail and make sure it's clean of any oils. And then you go in with your primer. Now your primer it will dry down to like a sticky kind of feel, usually with most primers. That's how this one is. So you'll notice it gets like a shiny, sticky kind of look to the nail. And you want to make sure that goes on your nail only. You do not flood your sidewalls with it. because if you get your primer everywhere, the gel is going to follow it and that will cause lifting as well. Okay, now that's on, you let that dry for a little bit and then you can go in with the gel. I'm gonna do the rest of the nails. By the time I get done priming all 10 nails, I'm ready to go back to the first nail that I primed and apply the gel. So it just needs, you know, a minute to set up and get tacky. You see how that's shiny? Now if I were to touch that, it would be kind of sticky. The primer is going to act like a double-sided sticky tape to help the gel stick to the nail a lot better. Hopefully you guys can see okay. I'm trying to do my very best to stay in frame and in focus. It's just a little bit difficult doing my own nails on camera, but I'm gonna do my best for you guys. Okay, primer's on. Okay, so now I'm going to take my gel brush and I'm gonna get a little bit of gel on my brush here. And what I'm gonna do is lay down a base layer. Like I said, the base and color is all in one with the Luminary system. They do have a clear gel that doesn't have any color in it at all, which is really nice. I think I'm gonna order some of that next time I place an order. All right, so same thing like with the primer, you want to get it all over the nail. Do not touch the skin. Be very, very careful. Try not to flood your sidewalls or your cuticle area. And you're just going to apply a very thin layer like so. And I'm going to do that to all 5 nails and cure it in the light for 30 seconds. Okay, so we've got our thin base layer cured. Now what you're going to do is go in with another really thin bead. This is going to be your slip layer or your wet layer. And this is just going to help the gel self-level. I'm going to do it on my thumb here. I find this is the easiest to show you with. Make sure you got it all over the nail. Again, not touching the skin, being very careful. Okay, so now we're gonna leave that and not cure it. And we're gonna go into our pot here, pick up a good sized dollop or bead of gel. And you see how this is a very thin viscosity gel. It self-levels like a dream, but you do wanna be careful not to flood your cuticles and sidewalls. Okay, now I'm going to place that down and kind of push it a little bit close to the cuticle area, trying to stay in contact with the gel with my brush at all times. And I'm gonna need a bit more than that, so I'm gonna grab another bead, keeping my finger angled down so I don't flood the cuticle area. Go in with some more here and I'm going to walk it down the nail. Make sure I'm in frame here. Okay. Now that I've got it pretty much where I want it, I'm gonna let it just kind of level out. And it's going to start leveling out into the sides. This is where you can get a little tiny bit of gel on your tiny brush here and go in if you need to add any more to the sides or maybe a little strip down the middle. I think this is looking pretty good. Now it's sat for a little bit now, so it's going to start pulling to the edges and you're going to end up with a really thick wide nail here. So the best thing to do is flip your finger upside down and let gravity build an apex for you. That way you don't have to do as much work with filing or with placing the gel. Okay, you see how it pulled it to the middle? That is looking really nice. I'm gonna give it just a second to level back out and check that I got every bit covered, and I think I am pretty happy with that. So I'm going to place that in the light Now I put it on low heat mode. I do get quite a significant heat spike personally. I do have clients who say they can't hardly feel it at all. And I do have clients that it really does zap them pretty good with the heat spike. So it really just depends on your nails. I have very thin nails. I've always had thin nails, and it's hard for me to grow them without a product on them. So the heat spike on me is a little bit rough. So if you're feeling a significant heat spike, even though you have it on low heat mode, the best thing to do is pop it in for just a few seconds, pull it back out, flip it upside down so it doesn't pool to the sides, and wait a few seconds, and then go back into your light and do that over and over again a few times. You're gonna feel it heat up, but it won't be as hot. And then back out, over, back in, and do that like 3 or 4 times until you stop feeling that heat, and then go ahead and just let it sit in there for the rest of the cure time. Really, you just need to flash cure this so it'll hold in place while you do the rest of the nails. I usually flash cure for at least 30 seconds. That's about how long it takes me to do a nail. So when I'm switching back and forth in and out of the light doing my clients, it's about 30 to 45 seconds. That's plenty of time to cure it enough to hold it into place while you do the rest. And then once I'm all done with one hand, I have them place their hand in the light for 60 seconds to make sure that everything has gotten a complete cure. Okay, so now I'm going to do the rest of these off camera real quick. And if you need to add more gel, if you don't like your apex and you want to add more, you can definitely do another layer. All you have to do is the same that you did before. Put your wet slip layer down, grab your bead, build it out, and cure it. I'm not sure if I think I'm going to leave it like this. I kind of like it nice and thin. It's a little bit thinner than I usually do. But like I said, I think I'm gonna put a design over top of this. So I'm gonna keep it a little bit more on the thin side. And the beauty of this gel, it is a multi-flex gel, which means it's going to give your nails the strength it needs to grow without breaking, but also being flexible enough that it's going to bend with your natural nail as you go through life and your daily routine and this and that. With like acrylic, it's really hard and rigid. It kind of like snaps, it'll break if you like hit it. This will bend more. It's got more give to it. I hope I'm explaining that okay and that makes sense. So with it being like that, you can make it a little bit thinner, or you can make it thicker. So this is a very versatile gel. You can make it as thin or thick as you'd like. You can put it under your gel polish and do it really thin just to give your gel polish a little bit more strength. With acrylic, if you were to put it on really thin, it's going to crack. That's just the nature of that product. It doesn't flex and bend. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense and you guys understand. Again, I do my best to try to explain things to you and not over explain it and say it 1,000 times, but I want to make sure that I'm getting my point across. So if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. I've also had the question, while I'm thinking of it, try to answer as many questions as I can. Why can't you just paint a thin layer on your nail like so, cure it, and then paint another thin layer, cure it, and then just do that? The reason why you wouldn't do that is because you're not going to build an apex that way. You're going to have your nail look bulky. It's going to misshape the free edge. It's just not going to sit right on the nail. That's why we go in with a bigger bead and build the nail like so to give it that shape, that apex. If you were to just put a flat layer down, you're gonna look like Polish Mountain, and we don't want that. So that is why you can't just put layer after layer after layer. And if you're trying to build up the thickness of the nail, you want to do it in this fashion. You could, however, if you wanted to, just put a thin layer down like so after your little base layer here, and cure that and just leave it at that and not add anything else to it. That's going to help give you a little bit of strength. I would put something like that under like a gel polish manicure. If you're not looking to build any kind of arch or apex, if you have a really good nail shape and you just want a little bit of added strength, that would be an option to do. Okay, once you're finished applying your gel and you're happy with it, you can go in straight with your top coat and just top coat them. You can go and file them. You just want to remove the sticky layer so it is sticky on top. Wipe that off with some isopropyl alcohol and file it to the shape you'd like. But if you're happy with this and you don't want to file it, but you don't want to top coat it and you want to add gel polish color, still remove the sticky layer. Once you remove your sticky layer, I'm gonna grab some isopropyl alcohol, wipe off that sticky layer. Take your file or your sanding band with your e-file and just lightly, let me make sure my lid is on all of this. Okay, lightly go over the gel like so, just like how you were removing the shine from your natural nail to apply this gel. You want to do that really quick. It takes like 2 seconds, and then go in with your gel polish. That's going to rough up the surface so your gel polish has something to stick to. It's also going to take away that inhibition layer that the Luminary left behind, because it may not be compatible with the gel polish you use, which can cause improper curing. It can cause peeling of your gel polish, lifting, a whole bunch of stuff that you don't want to get into. You put all that work into your beautiful nails and you don't want them to be messed up because the systems weren't compatible. So let me show you. Take the rest of this inhibition layer off of these. So if you're going to file it in the shape, same thing. If you're doing it with your hand file, you need to straighten up the free edge. Do that. You get a little high spot. File it into perfection. This is all going to take practice. If you're not used to using gel, it is definitely going to take some practice using a thin gel like this. I have been using gel for a really long time, and when I first started using the system, I was having issues with it in the sidewalls. It just runs really fast, so it's a gel that you got to work quickly with. If you're just starting out with gel, and I would go with a thicker viscosity, that means a gel that isn't going to self-level as fast, so just thicker in formula. All right, so if you want to do this with your e-file, same thing, just buff over it. Make sure you get rid of any high spots, get your shape where you want it, all that jazz. And then take your hand file, straighten up that free edge, get things right where you want them, and then you're good to go to apply your design, to apply your gel polish, to apply your top coat. And I know somebody's gonna ask, well, what if I do all this and I get it filed and I file too much off and it's too thin? Because I can see a thin spot coming right here. Well, that is not a problem. All you need to do, dust off your nail and go back in for another layer. So you just take your gel, do your slip layer again, pick up your bead, place that on the nail. You can just put it right where you want it. You can do it all over the whole nail again, and then just cure that and buff, file, do whatever you need to do, and then you're good to go. So you can continue to build this up. I've showed a fill before. I'll link that right up here of how I did a fill on my nails using Luminary. You don't need to use your primer on the gel itself if you're going back in over the gel with the gel, only on the natural nail. So when you have your regrowth, you would use your primer on your regrowth area of your natural nail. So hopefully all this makes sense, guys. I'm trying to do my best to explain it for you and make it as easy as I can to explain. Even though I said, you know, it's not, whoo, that one got hot. Woo, 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 I didn't put that on low heat mode. Even though it's not a gel for beginners, it is for professionals. There are some professionals out there who have used acrylic their whole life and don't know anything about gel. And that's totally fine, and you're wanting to switch over. So I'm just trying to make it as easy to understand as I can for everybody. So I hope you guys enjoy that and understand where I'm coming from when I get a little chatty and I need to explain things a few times. All right, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to finish buffing over these and getting them perfect to shape, and I will come back and show you the finished results. All right guys, and that is it for how to apply Luminary as a gel overlay, structured manicure, however you would like to call it. So yeah, any questions, please leave them below. I think I'm gonna add just a few crystals to these. And if you guys wanna see that, comment below and I'll record it and I'll post it if you wanna see it. But, ooh yeah, I'm thinking something like that. Pretty, pretty. All right guys, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, bye.
Yes, I know I'm crazy, crazy about you, crazy about you. I know I'm a flex sometimes. I know I get drunk sometimes.